Hey guys, Pete over here. So this video is not easy for me to make, and as you read the title, it says, wow, so much hate. You haven't seen much content coming out from me in the last couple weeks, and the reason behind it is because I was just not in the right mindset to shoot any kind of video. And I did take down last couple videos, and a lot of you noticed, because I did get some messages, what's going on, how come there's nothing being uploaded, and how come there's some videos that have been removed. This is not easy, but I'm always super transparent on everything that I do and everything that I show on my channel, from good to bad to glamorous stuff to stuff that it's like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And this is one of those videos that I have to dive in a little bit deeper and talk about, because for being on YouTube for almost a decade, I developed pretty thick skin for all these comments and haters and everybody that likes to chime in. But boy, this one really set me off, and let me explain. So we made a video a couple weeks ago. It was mainly interaction between a seller and Ryan, who works for me. He bought a Atari system with a bunch of games. That and this customer, he's a viewer. He comes to the shop. He came in, said he wanted $50. Ryan agreed, bought it. Later on, a few days later, I got to actually see the system and all the games that Ryan bought, and I was like, I'm pretty blown away. There's a lot of brand new games here that potentially could bring some good money. We shot a second part of the video. The original video was shot when Ryan did the original transaction, and then I shot a separate clip, me showing off each individual game, thinking, okay, this is a really nice game. This one might go for good money. But for the most part, it's always a gamble. So the video gets published, it comes out, and of course, within a day, lots of comments start coming in on the video. Pete, you screwed this guy over. You should have gave him more money, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. It wasn't actually me, right? It was Ryan, but it doesn't matter. Ryan works for me. This is my establishment. Everything comes from the top. I take full responsibility. That's why I'm responding to this video. But even if I would, if it was me and I would realize, okay, potentially maybe there's a little bit more money to be made here on this system and all these sealed games, maybe I would throw in a guy another $25, $50. Maybe instead of the 50 original that he wanted, maybe I would even double the money, give him 100. Would that make any difference? Because I started seeing all these comments coming in. Pete, so many sealed games, you're gonna make a fortune on this. Every game is gonna sell for thousands of dollars. You ripped this guy completely. And I'm reading all this and I'm like, I know there's a lot of people who are resellers and they totally get it and they understand game, but there's a lot of people who just watch this channel for entertainment, right? And a lot of them don't understand. And we've been doing this long enough that me and my crew has a pretty good feel what we can get out of this stuff. And especially when it comes to like Atari games. Now there's a big difference if you are a collector of Atari games or you are a collector of Nintendo 64 or NES games. Totally two different worlds. You can make really good money on some of these N64 and NES games. But Atari, it's always a gamble. So I started reading all these comments and I'm like, okay, let people think what they want to think and let people say what they want to say. I usually don't, delete comments, and I don't get into them, and I don't, put any pressure on anybody that wants to say things, okay? It's a free country, you can say whatever you want. I usually leave 99% of the comments alone till they start getting, hateful and harmful. And that's what started happening. And I was forced to delete just few comments, but then all of a sudden, I get this hate coming directly to me via email, and there's a couple people who started engaging, and I wasn't engaging, but they trying to engage with me, sending me email after email, especially this one particular person. I must have got like 20 emails from him, and like really hateful. Like, to the point that he's bringing up my family, my kids, and I'm like, my gosh, I'm like, can this possibly be happening? This much hate? Start saying, things like, you're even using your animals abusing them for all the views you do. I'm like, what is this person talking about? You know, I'm like, don't get me wrong. We all make mistakes, right? And I always try to stand up to my shit that if I do something wrong, I'm going to come out and I'm going to try to correct it, or I'm say I screwed up. I always do that. Nobody's perfect. And I get that. When this started coming in like this hard at me, I had to take a step back, and I'm like, what is happening? So I'm like, and this keeps coming, right? Every day. I'm like, you know what? Let me delete this video because it's getting out of control. And I deleted some of his comments, right, on YouTube. And then this person starts creating new accounts so he can still fuel the fire and bring the range. And like, you know, so people are like, oh yeah, let's give it to Peter. That's why I made the next video and I kind of called, you know, keyboard warriors, because he started fueling the things, and it just got out of the hand. So I'm like, okay, I'm deleting these videos. And by the way, I want to mention too, since the video came out, we've been in contact with a gentleman who sold us the system. He's a viewer, he comes to the shop. So we reached out to him and we told him, listen, the system with used games, it's its own thing. You know, we're probably not going to get a whole lot of money, but there is a possibility that all these sealed games, will put them on auction. Some of them might bring some good money. So if that happens, I'm not one of those guys that I don't want to share. If they will do good and if we'll make some good money, I'll definitely, get some money to you. And he said, yeah, just let me know. We'll follow it. We'll see what happens. So I decide to delete these videos, right? So take a step back. We list those games. They go live on auction for 7 days on eBay. And I actually have a list in front of me. And I was waiting till this moment because I wanted to see what these games would sell for, so I can bring this up and we can talk about it too. It's always a risk, right? When you're buying games that are sealed and you put them on an auction, you never know what they're going to bring. Possibly there might be some home runs and possibly there might be nothing. So there was 20 sealed games. 90% of them were in really good condition. There were a couple that were a little rough, squished and things like that. But we list all 20 of them. They all sold. And 17 of them we got paid already, and there's still 3 games kind of hanging in air waiting for payment, and one of them is kind of questionable. I don't know if we're gonna get paid because there was some weird stuff going on when the bidding was happening, but we'll see. So I'm gonna read off the 17 games that's sold so far, and not surprised at this. I was kind of expecting this, except one game that I thought, and I showed it off, that game on that video of a Superman, that I thought this was nice, clean game, higher end game that possibly might bring some money. I'm very surprised actually how much that game brought in. But let me read off what these games sold for. So the first game sold for $91. Second game sold for $50. Then we have like 3 cheapies in a row. One game brought $10, one brought $7, one game brought $2.25. Then we can have a game for $31, $26. We got one game for $166. That went from pretty good money. Then for $69, $46, $12.50, $148. That's a good game. $42, $50, $19.50. And then we have the big one, the Superman game. That game actually got a lot of bids, and it was all the action happened literally within the last few minutes, and that's how it usually happens. That game sold for $1,125. So kind of blew my mind. I was expecting that game might bring a couple $100, but not this much. Anyway, all these games that I just mentioned are already shipped out. I shipped them out today morning, except 3 that we haven't got paid. One sold also for like $20. Another one sold for, I think, like $100 something. And there's one game that it's sitting there for like $400 and some that I think we might not get paid for that game. We'll see. It would be nice if we do. So you can see the big range of these games here. if it wasn't for that one game that went for like $1,100, this would have been kind of mediocre. That's why we do have the experience when we buy these things to kind of gauge what things will bring in. Like the system itself, the system with the used games, there was about 23 games, used games, and the system sold for $90 here in the shop. And I got a little lucky because I kind of paired an old 80s 13-inch TV with it. To get rid of it, we hooked it up so it looks nice so people can test it out. And the guy who bought the system for $90 also bought the TV that I had for $85, which was kind of cool. You know, he bought the whole setup. So the system and used games didn't bring a whole lot at all. But these sealed games, some of them did really well, but some of them, my gosh, you know, $2, $7, you know, $12, $30, $20. That's what we kind of did expected on it. So anyway, I've been talking to the gentleman who sold me all this, right? And I said, listen, if we do well and I get paid and I collect and everything, I will definitely take care of him. So he's actually coming in tomorrow to the shop here, and we're gonna settle. Hopefully I'll still get paid on a couple of these games that are pending for collecting a payment, but you know, we'll see. For the most part, actually out of 20 games to get paid for 17, it's really good, because a lot of times these auctions, people back out, you don't get paid. It's always risky doing auctions on eBay lately. So, but this was pretty good because a lot of people quickly paid for them. So lots of talking, gotta take a sip. So yeah, and if you guys want to see which games exactly brought how much, you can go to my eBay, go to the completed listings on my site, and then you guys can see exactly which game brought how much for your own reference. If you ever run into this out in a wild, a sealed game, and you kind of will know, you know. But for the most part, all these games, like between $20 to $50, that's what they would bring, you know, on average. So lots of people were commenting, oh, you know, every game is gonna sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars, you ripped this guy so bad. And I get it, you get all these comments fueled up, and it's a snowball, and it's just, but when you start attacking me directly and personally, it really hurts. I think I'm overall very transparent guy. I help my local community a lot. I do fundraisers. I truly do go out of my way to help a lot of these people out all the time, as much as I can. Now, it's a really fine balance of doing this YouTube channel, helping people, and of course running a business. This is a business. I'm running a business to support me and my family. So, you know, it's all nice and dandy, but when it comes to final numbers, everything has to make sense. I'm not a charity. I mentioned this before. And I'm always a straight shooter, and I tell people, listen, if I can make money on this, I don't have a problem sharing the money with you, long as there's, like I always say, enough meat on a bone for both of us to make a little bit of money. So I just wanted to clear this all, guys, up, because it's bugging me. And to be honest with you, I took a step back for a couple weeks, and I really thought about this, how I want to proceed with this channel in the future. And there's been other things that also happened within the last few weeks. You know, we had the passing of Steve, and there's other problems that I had with the channel and things here in the shop. So everything kind of balled up. I kind of took a step back, looked at everything. There will be a few changes. I don't know exactly how much. I still obviously love and enjoy sharing my journey running this business. That's why I started this channel. I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy sharing all the stuff that happens here with you guys, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Obviously this is the ugly at the moment, but boy, I never thought I would receive that kind of hate. I just kind of blows my mind, you know. And it took me a few days, like, really to take it. I'm like, there's just one or two people that are out there like that. For the most part, everybody is really genuine, and I don't have a problem you writing some comments that you don't feel certain things right. It's all good. Everybody can have their own perspective on things, but when you got like really under my skin, it's tough. Anyway, I hope you guys understand. I hope I put some context behind this and some understanding, like where I'm coming from as a running a business, where I'm coming from, like doing things the right way. And like I said, nobody's perfect. I made a mistake. This was a mistake. I'm trying to correct it. I always tell people if I can make things right, I will. So I think we're gonna end this video on a better note. I've been flooded with postcards from you guys, so now it's time to show some of them off. 140, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154, and 156. Guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon.